The rail transport system is one of the several means of transportation, and an important one at that, as commonly used and very cost-effective mode of commuting and moving goods carriage from even long and even short distances. Its role in economic activities cannot be overlooked. Its use in Nigeria dates back to the colonial days and today is regulated by the Nigerian Railway Corporation. But has the sector developed to meet up with today's needs in the country? Operations of rail system, especially with the linking to the ports in Lagos, make up our focus on this episode of Special Reports. You're welcome. I'm Ini John Mekwa. The construction of railways started in 1896 by the British government. It linked Lagos colony to Ibadan. 5 years later, Lagos began its operations and extended operations to Minna in Niger State, where it met the Kano railway station that was built by the government of Northern Nigeria between 1907 and 1911. The two lines were joined in 1912 into the government's Department of Railways, the predecessor to the Nigerian Railway Corporation. The railway reached its northeastern terminus of Nguru in 1930. After coal was discovered at Udi, the Eastern Railway was built to Port Harcourt between 1913 and 1916. This railway was extended to Kaduna via Kafanchan in 1927, connected the Eastern Railway to the Lagos-Kano Railway. The Eastern Railway was extended to its northeastern terminus of Maiduguri between 1958 and 1964. There are several branch rail lines in Nigeria. Presently, the country has two major operational Cape Gauge rail lines. The Western Gauge Line, which connects Lagos to the Bight of Benin, to Nguru in the northern state of Yobe over a distance of 1,126 kilometers, and the Eastern Line, which connects Port Harcourt in the Niger Delta end to Maiduguri in the northeastern state of Borno, sharing border with Chad. However, the linking line connects Kaduna on the west line to Kafanchan on the eastern line, while Ifo-Ilaro, with 20 kilometers apart, and Minna Baro, Zaria, Kaura, Numada falls under the western lines. A standard gauge railway connects the national capital of Abuja to the city of Kaduna in the northwest, which served as an important economic junction point on the Cape Gauge railway network. However, the 187-kilometer line is the first segment of the planned Lagos-Kano standard gauge railway to be completed. In 2018, government awarded a contract to China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation to complete the remaining portions of the line, while in June 2020, Nigeria's Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, announced that construction had commenced on the Abuja-Kano segment of the line.
They are working from both sides. There's a problem with oil salve. Not oil salve, there's a problem with an NPC pipes at Ijora. We're talking with an NPC, we're talking with oil salve, which is a contractor. They need to move a pipeline. When they move the pipeline, we'll continue to complete the construction.
In July 2020, that construction was completed and passengers and freight operations began. These are some of the efforts to revamp the railway service, with actions geared towards developing the Cape Gauge network, as well as constructing a new standard gauge network that can help transportation through the stable means.
I hold strongly the view that a well-functioning rail system that helps us efficiently move freight, cargo and passengers across the country is an absolute imperative to unlock the potentials of this economy. And therefore, I'm supportive of the investments that we're making in developing and modernizing our rail sector. I believe that it's one that will pay great dividends down the line. We can't continue the way we're trying to move the sort of tonnage of cargo on the roads. The roads will, that's one of the reasons why our roads just seem like they are hardly in good state, because they can't. No nation functions this way.
By early 2013, the only operational segment of Nigeria's rail network was just Lagos and Kano. Passenger trains took 31 hours to complete the journey at an average speed of 45 km per hour.
In some places we have seen that a maximum effort has been put and there's remarkable progress. In some places there are some small slight disappointments, but of course, as usual, the contractor has tried to explain why they could not achieve the target we determined for them. But by and large, we are going to continue to push. We are not going to relent. We continue to push and push and push. It's just when you push, you get results. When you sit on your oars, they will relax. So we're trying to see whether they can even work 24 hours in some places to be able to achieve the target. Sometimes arrival of equipment, some level of personnel, some unforeseen things that happen. That one is is explanation by the contractor, not from our side. But by and large, we believe them in some. And some we believe they could do better.
By the time we started the e-ticketing, it's a concession type of partnership. The only thing available then was the narrow gauge and the Abuja-Kaduna, and the person opted to do Abuja-Kaduna. The Lagos-Ibadan was not, by the time we started the process, has not even started. So we will soon start the process of the Lagos-Ibadan e-ticketing and the Takbewari e-ticketing. It's a process that we must follow the government lay down guideline, which we will ensure we follow strictly. We've not started fully really. We are still running skeletal service, in the sense that the station buildings have not been fully completed, and the things that will make the station functional are not there. We are still installing the signaling and communication, and it's only when those things are in place that the operation can. So what we are doing now is we do it without caution. We intend to do Ibadan Lagos with the dwelling time and all that. Some will do it at 1 hour, 30 minutes, because we are going to have a variety of train service. We will have one that will take off from Lagos and not stop till they get to Ibadan. We have those that will take off from Lagos, maybe stop in Abeokuta at then Ibadan, and we have those that will stop at every station. So it's going to be different timing. You now decide you board the one, your pocket, and depending on some people time is money, some people time is not money. So you pick the one you have to go. We are going to run Ibadan Lagos from 1 hour, 20 minutes to 2 hours, 30 minutes, depending on the service you are using. If you are taking the one that will stop in every station, you expect to stay longer. But if you are taking the one that will not stop, at least we should target 1 hour, 20 to 25 minutes. That's what we have worked out.
Nigerians are gradually being reintroduced to rail transport following the determination of the federal government to rebuild the country's rail network and even construct new ones. Although past administrations had attempted to revive the rails, whose decline symbolized a rot in the country's infrastructure, the present administration, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, has made railway modernization its cardinal project and has not relented ever since. In 2018, the president projected that by the end of 2021, the country would have a standard gauge railway across the main north and south trading routes.
From Ebute Metta to Ibadan, extensive work has been done. That you can say yes. Because when you ask them that, they say minor stations will be ready. What about the major stations? And there are about 4 major stations, which are Ebute Metta, Papa, Abeokuta, and Ibadan. But the rest, 8 or 9 minor stations, they claim will be ready before April.
He's been on this for the past 3 years, thereabouts. Yeah, a lot has gone in, but until you push to the end of the project and you start deriving value from it, that's when we can say, well done.
This interconnectivity is to improve the country's economic competitiveness and is targeted under the Economic Recovery and Growth. So for starters, he has directed that every port must have the complement of rail infrastructure, and the projection is that by the end of 2021, standard gauge railway across the main north and south trading route would have come to stay.
All lines can take both passenger and cargo, and the essence of that line is to ensure that we're able to transport cargoes, not just from Niger Republic, but from neighboring states. I've said it too many times to Nigerians. We are not competing well with Togo, with Benin Republic, with Ivory Coast, and with Ghana over cargoes that come from our neighboring landlocked states. The excuse they give for the poor competition by Nigeria is that our roads are bad, criminals attack them, there are police checkpoints, there are custom checkpoints, and they're not able to do business without high cost of business transactions. So if we will then compete favorably, it means that Nigeria has to make a sacrifice of not just repairing or rebuilding their roads, but a rail line would solve the problem. What it means is that goods coming from Niger Republic will be processed at Maradi by the Nigerian customs and therefore transported straight to Apapa Seaport, in which case there will be no police checkpoints, there will be no immigration, there will be no customs, there will be no accident, accident, we can't account for, but there will be no armed robbery or criminals, just processed straight to the Lagos Seaport, which attracts more business for the country and grows the economy. We are tired of making this explanation. We don't have wives from Niger Republic. I don't know if you know my friend. The first time I visited Niger Republic was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. That was my first time at Niamey, to get to the government, to ask the government to give us right of way and land where we can build warehouses for this business. We are doing it to grow the economy and create employment. Simple. Even if we stop it at Jibia to Maradi is just 12 kilometers.
Given the huge decline in the country's foreign exchange earnings as a result of the crash in crude oil since the administration assumed office, it needed to borrow to execute rail projects. In 2017, the administration secured a $6.1 billion loan from China Exim Bank for the construction of Calabar Port Harcourt, Lagos Ibadan, Lagos Kano Rail, and Lagos to Kaduna Rail, and then another $1.5 billion counterpart funding for the Lagos Ibadan project. The administration has taken other loans to fund the project, which form part of the 31.08 trillion naira sovereign debt burden that is currently weighing heavily on the country's fiscal position.
The cost of the contract was $1.6 billion, but between Itabewari and Lagos Ibadan, we had to ask for another about $650 million or so for extra work. That has been approved a long time. I was just repeating it to the National Assembly to know that that's not that we're asking for fresh money.
Apapa, location of the premier ports in Lagos State. The port, normally a beehive of activities, was established in 1913 and construction of the first 4 deep-water berths commenced in 1921. The Apapa port is well equipped with modern cargo handling equipment and personnel support facilities, making her cost-effective and customer-friendly with intermodal connection, most especially to the rail system, giving it an edge over others. The port has suffered setback in its cargo delivery, making it difficult for cargo and other imports to get to their destination in good time. Also, Nigeria's economy has witnessed a setback in its earnings on duty over imports and exports, as those in foreign trading spent more man-hours with their goods at the port over clearance and port delivery and fast export. A never-ending tale seemed to be a summary easily reached when Apapa is mentioned.
Rail linkage to the ports is very, very important. Like what government is doing now in Nigeria, we have seen the progress made so far. The Minister of Transportation is trying his best with the support of the presidency. However, we have seen that so far it's only Apapa port that is being connected for now. And then you look at the other ports that are yet to be connected, you will see that much work is still needed to be done. But with what is going on, we believe that it's a good start. That with that now, at least Apapa port efficiency will be enhanced. Then government revenue again will also be beefed up. And again, the issue of inventory build-up inside the ports can be reduced. Then pressure on the roadside, that's road transport, could also be ameliorated. So these are the areas. And then if the rail system is completely linked up with Apapa and then Tinkan and others, I think what we are going to have is what they call economic of scale, in which hauling of large quantity of containers and other goods out of the port at a go will always come into play. And with that, some of these trucks that are congesting the port access roads will be removed.
When it's not traffic gridlock, it's the increased cargo tonnage concentration in disparity to other, or the turnaround time by terminal operators, the discordant tunes by various freight forwarders union, the transport union, to operational oversight by the Nigerian Ports Authority. To the port community members who are always at the receiving end of all the challenges, whatever the period under consideration, Apapa is always in the eye of the storm. The system governing the operations and movement of cargoes, both wet and dry cargoes, are always greatly distorted when there's a break in the chain of progress or a weak link. Cargo handlers have to spend days in gridlock trying to transport their goods.
As far as we go economically and industrially, more goods will come to the port and they will want to leave the port. So you have to have a mix of moving them massively and easy, and that is not having many interests involved. Because if you move with one rail, it's one system. You go through the permanent way, no interference. So if it's 20 wagons you are moving, that's 20 trailers. And they just pass their track, nothing to do with the town. And now that we are going to have both the standard gauge track and the narrow gauge track moving simultaneously, I think the impact on the people, on the investor, and the cost will be quite magnificent. So thank God, at least the rail, both standard and narrow gauge, by next week will start moving on the narrow gauge, while we want the consultant to do the necessary measurement and make the standard gauge available to us as fast as possible. So that Nigerian can have a sense of relief and Apapa can now go back to his old good days. The standard gauge can move 25 containers on a train, and we assume we can move at least 10 trains on the standard gauge per day, even it's only in the night, because you are moving the passenger in the day. And luckily for us, there are 2 tracks, so we can move as much as possible. At least we can move at every hour 1 free train of 25 wagons from the standard gauge, while we can move 20 wagons on the narrow gauge, maybe 5 to 10 trains a day, depending on how the terminal operators and the importer are able to clear their goods as fast as possible. So when they clear the goods and the terminal don't have the facility and infrastructure to load the wagon, why not? If they can load the 25 wagons in 30 minutes, the train will leave. And when you come with the empty, they offload and load again.
With the closure of a section of the Apapa Bridge for repair works, the resumption of rail services will help reduce the backlog of containers waiting at the port. The port has recently seen a growth in baggaging operations with a growing number of containers moved daily by barges from the port.
We move about 30 million tons of cargo per day between Lagos and Kano. Only 200,000 are put on the track in a year. That means the roads are dying. Everything about the roads. In fact, it takes Ministry of Transport 14 days to move a locomotive or a coach from Lagos to Abuja. 14 days. Imagine the impact on the economy. Imagine the impact on business. When in 8 hours or 5 hours, I can move the same locomotive and coaches to Abuja from Lagos. We're going to approach cabinet to enable us award a contract that will connect Tinkan to Apapa, so that if you are importing through Tinkan, you can use the rail from Tinkan to Apapa, and then off you go to the hinterland in the north and all that. I thought the question would not, because if you're asking me if it's there, it's there. What you're asking me is, why was it not done all this while? We were just 6 years old in the government. I thought what you should say is that we should congratulate the President Buhari's government for their foresight and their ability to be able to construct this rail. Like you know, we're at the seaport now in Apapa, and we intend to connect Apapa to Tinkan, and the cost of business will reduce, and ease of doing business will also be enhanced.
Recommencing the rail operation is expected to remove trucks from the road and improve environmental standards.
When it is fully linked up, I think it's going to take away the traffic gridlock to a very large extent, because when a single haul of rail, transport is, embarked upon, it takes away not less than 100 to 150 containers or trucks out of the road. So it is the only way out with the state of the port currently. You see, you look at the port, this traffic gridlock, it has defied all known solutions. And they will need to do something different. And the only way we can do that is to bring up this rail, system, the rail mode, to come into play. And that is the only answer to the pressure that is being mounted on the road, mode of transport.
Containers will be discharged at Alagomeji terminals in Yaba and Ijoko terminals in Ogun State. Trucks can then be deployed to both locations to collect containers and return empties, which the NRC will convey back to the port. Reintroducing rail connectivity at the port follows the acquisition of 2 new mobile harbor cranes. These were part of an agreed investment of $80 million for the year 2020 to 2021. Well, that's it for this episode of the program. Please talk to us and share questions and comments. I'm Ini John Mekwa.